We were so excited when the tent went up for the very first time. We had what basically was an old Mennonite barn raising. 39 guys and gals arrived, and we put that tent up. And with it came so much hope. For the last 3 years, almost 4 years, we have been suffering. We were at the Joy Bible Campus Institute, and we were having people sit outside in the heat. So as the tent went up, we saw and realized that God was about to do something very special. With the extra room, with the extra sidelines, we were able to see people come to Christ and people find Christ as their personal Savior. Well, here's what's next. ICC is just completing phase 1, which means buy the property, pay the taxes on the property, put in a wash house, build a tent. Now, we have to complete it. There's about $25,000 needed for a concrete pad where the tent will find its final resting place. Right now, it's just in the middle of a field. And that is needed funding that we don't have, but we're trusting God and we know He'll supply. Our children's ministry area needs a playground area and a complete covering for a shade sail and all the supplies for school supplies and books and all that. And that's probably in the neighborhood of $10,000 US as well when it's all said and done. So $35,000 to finish phase 1. Then we begin the process of building a church. The church we're looking at is going to be a building for 450 people. Why that big? Because we believe ICC, International Christian Church, is a church that will change a nation. And with that, we're called to build a building that will house that. It's never about a building. Never has been, never will be. It's always about people. It's always about seeing people won to Christ. It's about depopulating hell and populating heaven. We're called to reach everybody. From the richest businessman in town who thinks, I don't need Jesus, to the Chinese person who's coming to build a little corner shop who never has heard the name of Jesus other than swear word. Those are the people who are coming to Christ at ICC. Phase 2 will be a large auditorium, basically a large band shell. The cost? $600,000 US, or 60 million baht. Do I have it? Not a penny. Do I believe God's going to supply? Absolutely. There are people in North America, in like Canada, US, Europe, who each will step on for a little bit, and together we'll get the job done. So it was, when we had that first service, it was like a completion of a, good on you, God. You're amazing what you've done, because it's not us. Nobody in the church can take credit for it. God has supplied our need according to His riches and His glory, and it's very cool.
How do you see ICC in 10 years?
That's a really good question. Let me give you the short answer on that. When we arrived here in Port Vila, the very first weekend, I had the opportunity to sit down with one of the veteran missionaries who'd been here for many years. And he sat across the table from me at my house. And he said to me, so how are the plans for ICC Santo going? And I went, ICC Santo? We're in Port Vila. He says, no, ICC Santo. He says, if you haven't thought about church planting, the very first week you're here, you're not doing your job. He says, it's not about building a church, Dave. It's about reaching the nation for Jesus. He says, there are 10,000 expatriates who don't have a church in Luganville. We need to build a church. And so I said to him, well, I'll tell you what. We'll put that into our heart, and that's now part of our heart. ICC is not just ICC Port Vila. It'll be ICC Manplace at the other end of town. It'll be ICC International Christian Church Santo. Maybe it'll be International Christian Church Solomon Islands. Who knows? But God supplies the leadership. God supplies the vision. And all we have to do is walk it out and see people won to Christ. That's why we're here. So, good question.
Thank you.